Hello heroes, Joe Smith here. I am so freaking pissed off from past few retards I've tried out. Two from staffing company, the other two from Facebook or whatever. Um, One was only here. Well, he came up on afternoon for an interview. They said, yeah, you can do it, he's interested. Talk about pay and stuff, and then like, well, want to get started while you're here? And he's like, yeah, sure. And then you worked on a couple things, gave him $20, like $20 advance on a check just to help him with gas. I didn't know if he needed any gas money or anything, but because he was coming up from down by Fayetteville, so like clear on the other side of the metro area. So it's like, well, here's a $20 advance, just out of the kindness of my heart. He was back the next morning then, but then while he's getting lunch ready and ordering pizza for us, and I was in the office, he just went and got in his car, I guess. I didn't even know, realized he had left. Walked out, got in his car, drove off, and then after he left, sent me a text message saying that he quit. That he decided too far drive. Even though the day before interviewing him, he said, no, it's not too far drive. It'll be worth it for that kind of pay. And when I first talked to him over the weekend, before he even came up for an interview, it's like, no, it's not too far drive. So he kept saying it's not too far drive. After he got here first day for the interview, he still said not too far drive, but then the next day he decided it was too far drive. Well, also the next day he was working on this weed eater. It was needing a new trigger for that because piece where the spring hooks on the little stud or knob, whatever you call it, had broke off. So he took it apart, got the new trigger in, and then after, sorry about the fingers in the view there, but after he got it put back together, it wouldn't start. And he just kind of he just said, well, it won't start, and I don't know why. And then he just sat off to the side and started on something else. It's like, well, you say you're a master mechanic, figure out why it won't start. Okay, well, I'll look at it later or whatever. But then, that's about the time when I went into the office to order pizza, and then he up and left without finishing the next thing that he started on. So I guess he realized that he probably fucked something up and figured he'd just get the fuck out before I'd charge him for it. And he didn't ask for any pay for that day or the rest of his pay for the first day. And good thing I didn't give him any more. I shouldn't have even given that 20, I guess. But now I'm having to waste more time on this and buy a wire kit. But what happened, and my mom ran Jace with the old wires, but they were supposed to be in this groove along this cable here, or something or other, or down in this groove maybe, but they're like just laying up on top, and when you try starting it, or when you slid the shaft in, it scraped the insulation off the wires, and then it was causing them to connect or touch metal or whatever, and basically ground or short the ignition module or that to where it wouldn't spark. And then hired a staffing company to find me someone or a couple of guys. And then the first guy they sent out ended up being a stupid retard and fired him after only a day and a half. He seemed like a nice guy and a hard worker. Had him moving some stuff around or doing yard cleanup or whatever for 2 hours. When he first started, he was a hard worker doing that. Say he's been working for a moving company, but they're giving him fewer hours and treating him like crap or what he claims. And then, yeah, after having him here for a day and a half, I can see why they were giving him fewer hours. They're probably tired of telling him to do the same thing 5 times. Like I started getting tired of. And him wandering around lost like a retard, forgetting what he's supposed to be doing. But he couldn't get it. He tried taking part and then gave up, saying that this screw here was stripped out and couldn't get it out to finish taking the housing off. So then I sat to the side thinking I'm going to have to drill it out or something. And now, after it's been staying to the side for a couple weeks, I can go ahead and grab it here now this morning. And I realized he had forgot to take out this screw here that goes in right here. And that's what was holding this. This was loose and or out of the housing or where to work. Once I took this other screw out, the top, then it came right off. The staffing company wanted to charge me $26 an hour for him to spend an hour trying to figure out how to unscrew the housing on the weed eater. Well, it gets even better than that, or worse, however you want to say it. The second guy they sent, that I had fired after 3.5 days or whatever. He ended up being just as stupid, if not stupider. I had Echo Edger that I had done, put a new carburetor on, had it running, had took it out of the shop to and sat by the shed one day before he had started. Then my mom, instead of putting it in the shed, put it back in the shop. And then the next day I see it in the shop, and then it's like, what's this doing back in there? This is done. So I put it over back by the shed to put in the shed with the done stuff that night if the customer didn't come pick it up beforehand. And I guess instead of calling the customer and telling him it was done, it ended up getting put back in the shop after this second retard from the staffing company started. Or he somehow got his hands on it. I swear my mom told him to check it out, see if it runs or something. Because she probably hadn't made the invoice or called the customer yet, because I've been having that problem with her all summer in the past couple of years. Like, she's got something wrong with her too. But he was saying that, oh, it needs an ignition module, there's no spark. I tried starting it, there's no spark. I put the spark tester on it here, and there's no spark when you pull the rope. It won't start. It needs an ignition module for that. And then my mom ordered an ignition module, and then it came in after I had fired him, and he had already taken that Echo apart, about like this, to do the ignition module and take the old one off. And I'm wondering, or when she got it for me to put the new ignition module on yesterday, I was like, I thought I had this one done. I thought I had started running. And she's like, well, I can't remember if you did or not. So then I put the old ignition module back on, and it started right up. That retard forgot to turn the switch on. You're trying to start with the switch off. The staffing company wants to charge me $26 for him fucking around with that Echo Edger for an hour that was already done. And I had to waste money on a new ignition module here. And now I gotta see if I can send back. It's from Amazon, so at least I probably send it back. But, you know, I hate doing that shit. Because my mom wasted time looking up and ordering it. It's like I should just give it to the staffing company. Here, you bought this. I mean, I'm deducting from his pay for shit that he didn't do or finish that I'm having redo. And then I'm going to charge him my shop rate for me having to do the shit. And then he had a steel weeder, old FS80. Wouldn't start. Been staying around for several years. Had bad gas in it and shit. We got a new carburetor for it from Ace. And he spent like 3 hours fucking around with it. He put it on, and it's like, well, it's not pumping gas. Got to put a new primer bulb on the new carburetor. And then he done that. Then I guess it started pumping gas. But before he done that, he had put a fuel filter, new fuel filter in the gas tank. And when he done that, he broke the fuel line broke on him, I guess. Instead of putting a new fuel line in, he just stuck the filter on the what was left of the fuel line going into the gas tank to where the filter was at the top of the gas tank, right where it goes in. So unless you had tipped right or completely full of gas, it wasn't picking up any gas. I'd order a second carburetor, box for the first one. And yeah, I got a second one now, and this one I probably can't take back because it's from the dealership. Well, that was from the other steel dealership, not Ace or that, but my mom wasted time ordering that and going and picking it up in Rogers and paying for it, and when it didn't even need that. The first one was okay. I put it on this morning. This new fuel line, and it started up and ran. Started on the second pole actually. After I pushed the primer bulb, so it didn't need a new primer bulb on the new carburetor. There's nothing wrong with that, I'm sure. It wasn't pumping because he didn't have the fuel line long enough. It wasn't going down the fucking gas. He didn't have enough gas in there to reach it. And the staffing company swore these guys were experienced mechanics. This last guy, he's like, oh yeah, I used to work on lawnmowers all the time. Yeah, I guess he used to work on them. You never actually fixed any, but you worked on them. He spent like some 3 hours this last day. That's when I finally fired him, because he started arguing with me again, getting attitude. Because after he spent 3 hours trying to put this carburetor on this Honda push mower, I got tired of waiting and just went out there and put it on. And I told him, it's like, look, I'm only going to turn in half an hour for this. I don't care how many hours you want to claim you spent on them. I'm going to turn in half an hour. And then I went and put it on. It's like, okay, well, you don't get that half an hour now for this because I put it on. It only took me 5 minutes to put it on. I was going to pay him a half an hour for it, regardless what it took. If you had it done in 5 or 10 minutes, I'm still going to turn in half an hour on it. So these two guys from the staffing company, it was taking them like 3 to 4 times as long to do this shit. Turning half an hour job into a 3-hour job, or a 15-minute job into a 3-hour job. And the staffing company is going to charge me $26 an hour for every hour they spent playing with their dick and scratching their balls, trying to figure out how to undo screws and start shit without gas in it. The first guy from staffing company I ended up having to finish it because he had trouble putting the carburetor on a push mower. I told him to take it out and try it out, and come back a few minutes later. It's like, well, I can't get started. And it's like, is there gas in it? And it's like, oh, let me check. He ran back out of the yard to check because he left out in the yard, and then, oh, no, there's no gas. Then got the gas can out and of the shed, and then took over it out there and filled it up, and then started up and ran just fine. And then there was weed eater that he put a new carburetor on that took him like twice as long as what it should have, because he couldn't figure out what direction the air filter housing went, or that he couldn't figure out which way he needed to turn it or whatever to line up the bolt holes. And once he got that done, he went out and tried starting it. It's like, well, this won't start. And it's like, well, set to the side. Maybe it got flooded, but then, like, after I fired in a couple of days later, I pulled it out to try it out, and then I realized there's no gas in it. I wanted to hit the primer bulb, and there's nothing pumping. I flipped it over and looked at the gas tank, and it was empty. I screwed it, it's empty. It's like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. You put new carburetor on here and never put any gas in it. So he's saying they're pumping primer bulb with no fucking gas. Pulling on a pull rope and no fucking gas. It's like, how fucking stupid you gotta be? Claiming you're worth $25, $30 an hour, and then you're trying to start shit with no gas. You're trying to start shit without turning the switch on. Another weed eater I happened to see that he was having trouble starting. It had a spring-loaded switch like these, and to where it's always in the on position, because so many retards forget to turn the switch on before they start weed eaters and blowers. So companies started just putting spring-loaded switches to where it's always on the on position, and then you push it down and hold it for a couple seconds to shut it off. And then when you let go, it springs back to the on position. So that way, next time you don't have to remember to turn the switch on, just pull the rope. He was actually, while he was pulling the rope, he was actually holding the switch down in the off position, because his fingers slipped off of it when he went to pull the rope and actually started, but then it died right away. And I happened to see his finger move and hit the switch right then. And it's like, are you holding that switch down? I'm like, no, I'm not. I swear I'm not. It's like, yes, you've been holding that fucking switch in the off position. I seen you do it. And these guys get mad that I'm yelling at them and calling them stupid. It's like, well, fuck, you are. You're fucking stupid. You had no business applying. You never worked on anything. You lied to the staffing company. You lied to me. You never worked on anything. Or you never fixed anything. You might have worked on it, but you never fixed anything. The first guy from staffing company couldn't figure out how to hook the trailer up, and then admitted that he's never hooked a trailer up before. And he just bought the tools they had, the few they had, like the night before he started. When Harbor Freight got a few for $50 or something. So he could get the extra $5 an hour for having his own tools. Or $6 an hour, whatever. But then both of them are supposed to have their own tools. I was paying extra to the staffing company for them to have their own tools, but then they only had a handful of tools. And they're using mine most of the time. The staffing company still wants to charge me. So I'm deducting all this shit from their last invoice, plus I had some bits and sockets missing from the last guy, and I think the one before him lost a couple sockets too, because I couldn't find a couple after he left or whatever. But yeah, I'd fire that staffing company. I'm trying to find a different staffing company now. Second staffing company I had fired in 2 years here, because one I tried last year just sent out like homeless crackheads and retards and stuff. And then, this last guy, then when I Googled his name, I found out that he'd been arrested back, 15 years ago in another state, up in Northeast, like Massachusetts or something. Because he was just wandering around his neighborhood, knocking on doors, asking if He could scoop the snow off the driveway for some money, but he didn't have a shovel with him. And then he had got arrested because I guess if nobody answered, he broke into the house to steal stuff. The staffing company is supposed to be doing background checks, make sure they haven't been arrested for stealing stuff. And then they send me someone that admitted being in prison 4 times, and I find out that he'd been arrested for stealing stuff and breaking and entering, burglary. And now I got tools missing. They either lost, misplaced, or found most of the stuff. It's just thrown in a different drawer, not put back in the right place. But the missing stuff, he probably just accidentally threw in his tool bag or something. Because he was just mixing everything up and all his tools up with mine and just throwing shit wherever. When he got done using it, said put it back in the right drawer, or in the holder I had for it, the socket holder. Just throw them on top throw them in the drawer instead of putting them in the socket holder. And then he's wasting his time looking for tools. I'm not paying extra for him to waste time looking for tools, because you can't put shit back. So would have been better off and got more done, and I've just done everything myself this year. Had more money, got more done, and less problems. Because the 4 retards I tried out ended up being just complete stupid retards. And no fucking clue what they're doing. Yeah, they got a few things figured out or whatever, but few wheels fixed, new carburetors or push motors, but or oil change, but I mean simple stuff. But then some of this other stuff, simple stuff, like can't get the cover off, can't figure out why. Like forgot to take the screw out. You missed the screw. I mean, look around, figure it out. It's not sucking gas. Oh, look in the fuel tank. Oh, gas line's broke. It won't start. Well, is the switch on? Oh, I forgot about that. I don't even know. I mean, these guys are like 40s or 50s. I mean, well, one was 34, the first one this spring. These last 3 were like my age or older. 40s or 50s. It's like, how do you live that long being that stupid? I mean, I'm surprised you haven't, like, climbed a power line pole and fried yourself, or walked in front of a bus, or drank drain cleaner and killed yourself or something. I mean, people are so damn stupid that I'm surprised they haven't done something like that and killed themselves. Because they don't know what they're doing. Well, that's my rant for this matter, but thanks for watching. And Joe Smith, sign out.